All right, good morning and welcome everybody to the coffee run. Here we go. I see that Victor's already out there chatting about stuff. Interesting, you got some stuff to say about expenses already. I'll put your comment up here in a little bit. You put a John in front of it, you gotta put a PC in front of it. That's how I filter the chat. So when I go to the filter, I won't be able to see your chat. Make sure you put a PC in front of it. That's how the chat app works. So I can just pull out the ones that I need to look at, okay? But you're talking about reducing expenses here and saying you need to be great at the comp game too. That's coming, right? All these things are coming as part of the series. So we're gonna get to all of that stuff. It's all good. A lot of things to talk about. So let's jump into the show here and reminders for you all tonight at about 6. I got Ken from Ken Knows Gambling coming with me on the trip around the table. Got some questions for him. But if you've got questions you want for that show tonight, again, non-gambling questions, random stuff is preferred, drop them in the chat, right? Everybody drop in the chat. Just do a Q in front of it and say, this is a question for tonight, and I will ask those questions. Otherwise, I'm gonna pull questions out of the hat. I got a bunch of in the hopper, but I'd like to get what you want to talk about. So there's that. Shooters tournament, again, the announcement there came from George earlier in the week. We're working through getting that thing ready. I actually made some adjustments to the roll tracker to sort of help us out with that. So I think it's going to be a thing that'll help the tournament be a little more statistically organized, I hope. We'll see. There's a players tournament in the works too. Both of those to start March 1st, by the way, that we're working through that'll give us a way to sort of play together tournament style and also raise some money towards Craps for the Cure. And speaking of raising money, obviously the Yo-a-thon's coming up. So starting in March, I will have a system in place where we can, and Brian from Hawaii Craps Shoes here, hey, there you go, you did break my curse today. I'm gonna put up a thing, and Brian, maybe you could take part in this too. I want everybody who does live shows on Crapsy or whatever, I wanna track every single 11 that we throw. I want people to pledge 1 cent or 11 cents for every 11 thrown between March 1st and September 1st across all the shows. So it could be like 500 11s, right, between all of us. Pledge that money. That money will go to the Layla Mucci Scholarship Fund, which is Chiro Midmo Yo's daughter. So we're gonna do this Yo-a-thon. So pledge a number of cents or pennies per yo thrown by all of us YouTubers for the next 6 months. And let's take all that money, and once a year, we'll keep dropping it into her fund. We started a college fund for Layla back in September. And we all put some money into it initially, but we're not putting money into it regularly. So I want to do something on the regular. I think this will help us out. This will be a nice little thing. And again, get us into the giving spirit leading into the fall and ahead of the Craps for the Cure. So that's going to happen. Right. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the table here and play a little bit for a minute. I want to play, just get something out of my system. First, we'll do this. It's called the Power of the 7 from Skill and Luck. This is a continuous don't come, don't pass strategy, which traditionally I find they don't work. However, he wants me to play with odds, and his assertion is that the odds will make this thing, more profitable than normal, because we're getting some loss coverage in there as well. So let's do that, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about our daily paycheck again, and I will do a little lecture on expense handling in Craps or for gamblers, and call it a day. Quick show today. I'm going to be out of here by about 8:40. I think I want to get. I got a job interview actually today, so I want to make sure that I'm prepared for that. So I'm going to take some time. All right, let's go. Hit the table. Hit the table, baby. Here we go. We're going to run the Skill and Luck Power of the 7 perpetual strategy. And Ryan from Mark the Points here. And Ryan, good one for you to try out in your table too. This is just a straight up continuous don't. And like I said, continuous don'ts have a tough time traditionally because on a hot table you get destroyed. This one, adding odds, adds volatility, but I think it also helps recover some of that. So what I'm going to put in the rack here is a couple $100. Just 4 greens for 100, and I've got just $100 in reds, and that's it. We'll do it like bubble crap style, basically. Let's get going here, and we're going to take basically like this. It's going to be. I might need more than this to get through. I might need 500. Let's take another $300 here, because the way he wants me to do the pass line. This is really more of a who cares about the come out kind of a thing. So we're going to go out here at 15 and 10. We're going to offset the pass and the don't pass. by 1 unit. Okay, it's a do we don't out of here. The whole point is to take odds on the don't. The whole point is to play with odds. Okay, so here we go. Do we don't. The 7 works for us on the come out. Let's see what happens. We got 4. Okay, goes to the 4. Now what you're going to do here is lay on that 4 20 bucks. Okay, so what happens on a 4, if the 4 happens to roll, you lose 20, 30 bucks. You'd win 15, so you're going to get killed a little bit there, right? If the 7 shows, you lose 15, but you win 10 and 10 is 20, you're going to win 5 bucks. You're looking to win about $5 every time through. The same thing is going to happen up here, I believe. It's going to go the same thing. 15 in the come, 15 in the don't come. And again, the 7 is always working for you. It's really about the odds here. So there's going to be a 6. Okay. So the come goes to the 6. The don't come goes behind the 6. We're going to lay that 6 back there for 12 bucks. We'll give this one shot through here. There's the 5. That'll win 10, 20 bucks, right? Lose 15. So the 7's going to win you 5 bucks on every single roll. Here we go. There's 10 or 15 bucks. 10 in the DC. Again, we're always on the right side of the 7 here until we start getting repeaters. Again, goes to the 5, goes behind the 5, lay for 15. So here we are. Every one of these bets on the 7 nets you 5 bucks. Okay, it's a do we don't. With the $5 net on the 7, we start knocking points down, we're going to be in big trouble. Let's go ahead and take $25. And again, it's 15 and 10. Looking for a 7. Looking for a 7 shooter. There's the 4. That blows. So that'll come off. We'll lose our don't. We get paid on the right side there. Come right back out with that same bet. That goes no 4. Come 4. And we'll lay that 4 for 20 bucks. And out we come. Puck is off. Do not want a hot shooter here. There's a midnight, which is the worst case, right? When you play a do we don't, people say, you can't ever really lose. Well, guess what? We just lost 15 bucks back there. When that happens, that's the one bad case, right? We need to get some more reds. Boy, that midnight on a do we don't. Hate seeing it. There's the 7. All right. Let's do a quick, where do we end up? We'll lose this don't. We'll lose all those right side bets. Get paid 15 bucks down here. We're going to pay 10 and 10, 10 and 10, and then we have an extra 10 and 10 coming in. All the bets resolve, right? At the end of all of that, let's take our 2 bucks back and let's do a quick rack check, okay? Bring all these reds back. There's the rhythm of it. That's actually a pretty solid little roll right there by our shooter. 25, 50, 75, 100. So take all the money back. There's 300. We start with 500. So we are down a little bit. Looks like we're down $10. After all that, 300, 400, 75, 490, we're down 10 bucks. Getting hit in the 4 is the difference. If we roll a 7 without ever repeating a number, we're going to be in great shape. Okay, one more time. Do one more run through, 15 and 10, and I'll put the rest of this just back in the rack. Let's get an even earlier 7, if we can. Okay, we're coming out. 6. Okay, we'll lay it for 12. And again, we'll do a Dewey Don't for 25 bucks. There's the hard 10. Lay that 10 for 20. And again, it's going to be a Dewey Don't for a quarter. Looking for a 7. Always looking for a 7. Every single throw, the 7's your best friend. No repeaters allowed. 639. Dewey Don't. Lay the 9 for 15 back there. And we'll get our Dewey Don't again. That's a 6. That's going to pick the point. That sucks. Puck is off. There's your Dewey. There's your don't. We'll put our odds up right now against that 6. We'll lose our earlier odds. We'll get paid 15 bucks. The net cost of that was $7 on that particular shooter. Dewey don't set back up. Coming out. Come out 7, please. We got a 9. Picked off the other one. Lose this don't in here. We'll get paid there. Our net loss is $10. We'll take 15 of that and lay the 9. Back into the come. And here we go. Dewey don't. Where's my 7? Hard 4. Hard 4. Dewey don't. 20 bucks against the 4. And we have to break a black chip to keep going. Not good. We got to break black chips to keep on playing, right? 50 bucks there. All right. There's our Dewey don't. We have almost all the numbers covered. This is crazy town, right? 1, 2, 3, ace, deuce. What a bummer. Lose the come, win the don't. Back into the come is going to cost you a nickel to replace the bet. That sucks. There's the 9. Picks the point. Dewey don't. Don't pass loses. Pass line wins. Put the don't pass back. And lay that 9 up here. Coming out. Almost every number is covered. Boy, you can't have this happen, right? There's an 8. We're going to lay the 8 for 12 bucks. Golly. Lay it for 12. Man, 25 bucks. The bank's out of red chips. How about a 7 right now? We got picked off twice. We got to get some wins, right? 6. We're going to pick that one off too. Boy, oh boy. Can I break a strategy or can I break a strategy? Those are going to lose. Those are going to win. Net loss of 7. We're not going to pick up enough, I don't think. On the 7 here to win back all those picks. There's another 8. Oh, good Lord. Okay, well, the points coming down. We're going to lose this. We're going to win down there. Wow, everything is covered except for the freaking 5. We got a great shooter here. How about a come out 7? Can it come out 7, come and save us all? It does. Woo, baby. 4, 3. All right, we'll lose this don't. And all the right side bets up front, they're all come bets, so they all go away. We'll get paid there. Everything up here pays 20 bucks. They're all the same. All right, let's bring it all back. We'll leave it here, bring it all back. And again, I will get, there's 25. Oh my gosh. John with the chips here. There's 100 bucks. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're going to be down a little bit after 2 rounds, 2 shooters worth. Where are we? There's 200. So there's 1, 200, 300, 400, 25, 450. 474. So we lost 26 bucks. We gave it a shot. We had 2 really good shooters there. Actually, 2 guys picked us off a bunch. Lost 25 bucks essentially. Grinder for sure. If you catch the early 7, you're fine. The trouble with this one and my analysis of it right now, and I played this a couple times before I showed it to you here, is this. The decent shooter, the average shooter like that's is gonna tear it up. And you're gonna burn 5, 6 bucks every single time you get picked off. The win spread is not enough. So going 15 and 10 with the 20 in odds, it's not enough money on the wins to pick you up on the losses. You're only getting 5 bucks, $5 net per bet. After the do side pays and the don't side pays, it's a $5 net bet on the 7 for every single thing. It's tough to win that way unless you're getting really quick 7s on a decent table at all. You're gonna get hammered. Okay. Yeah, the dark side will get hurt on a long run. It's okay to do, and I think the butter zone for me, let me come back over here. What I feel like is the butter zone for the don't come guy is probably 2 bets. Let's go back here. It's probably 2. No more than a don't pass and a don't come, or 2 don't comes. I think more than 2, you start getting into this cycle where a decent shooter just starts picking them all off. Having less targets from the don't side is what you want. Having more targets on the right side is what you want. You got to completely yo-yo that thing. If you're playing the right side, bet across, get them all. Give yourself more targets to get out of there quicker. On the don't side, you want to have a bigger bet on smaller numbers and be careful, right? You want to dodge the numbers, not invite yourself to get picked off. That's why the continuous DCs don't work. So, but anyway, the idea there is again, to spread it out, right? Yeah, it was not, yeah, I know that, Anthony. You want that me to run that strategy. So this is from Skill and Luck. Skill and Luck calls this the power of the 7. This is, he wrote me a text the other day and said, just put this on your show and try it. So I put it up there. That's what he calls it. This was his do we don't odds thing. Waylon's power of the 7 is different. Waylon's power of the 7 is you've got your cross bet for 2 hits and you run the wins through the don't. Again, that's the skill switch that I've done before. It's, to me, those switcheroo strategies are tough. I can run that one live here, maybe tomorrow, the next day. I think tomorrow I might have Dan on. We'll see. But I'll run the Waylon power of the 7. Again, all these strategies with the names, they're all renamed. Everybody names them different stuff, right? So anyway, that is Skill and Luck's power of the 7. That is not Waylon's power of the 7. So there it is. It can't ruin my mood. I'm not going to ruin your mood. I love you, man. I'm not going to ruin anybody's mood. I'm here to have a good time. All right. So there's that. That was the Skill and Luck version of this power of the 7 thing. He wants that 7 working on every single roll. That's what he said to me. Get the 7 working for you every roll like that. I'm not a big fan of do'y don'ts. And if I'm going to have all that action out there, I'd like the wins to be a little bit more significant. So that's my thinking on that one. All right, here we go. Let's get to the other stuff here. Daily paycheck. Not doing anything with it yet. We'll start logging rolls next week. But so far, we're so good. I was 5-0 yesterday, 4-0 yesterday, 2-0 today, 3-2 the other day, and 2-0 on Monday. So far, the win rate's good on the Dallas Drawdown. I've been dodging the 7. I've been successful except for the one day where I got whacked twice. We've been dodging the 7 pretty good. Like I said on the Daily Paycheck show, that's not going to happen all the time, right? When you're playing it this way, you know you're going to lose about $1,200 on every 7. We know that if I went to the casino 30 days in a row, I'm going to lose 5. I'm going to lose 5 times, right? That's about the right number, 5 point whatever times. I'm going to win 25 times, which that means on the first roll, I'm going to dodge it 25 times. Of those 25 times, a portion of those, I'm not going to get the second hit. The second hit's the lock, right? Some of those 25 times, I won't get that second hit. So you're playing like this. You ought to be in a case where you get whacked 5 times, where you win a little bit 3 or 4 times, and you win your full paycheck the other 20 times. If we can get to that level, right? 17 or 18 full wins, 3 partial wins, and 5 total losses, you'll be ahead for the month. That's what I'm hoping for to see here. So next month will give you a good test of that. One thing we find out about the Dallas Drawdown is that it's fast, right? I'm going to roll out there in the morning and throw a come out 7, and the show's going to be over. That'll suck. Some days I'm going to roll out there and go 1, 2, 3 box hits, and we're going to be done in 5 rolls, and the show's over. It's going to be a quick one. This is not going to be a grind for the most part. This is going to be a get it done or don't kind of a thing. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch this one, if it tears my bankroll to shreds or if we do okay with it. It's going to be very interesting starting Monday how that rolls out. So text that mine does not either. My local will not allow a do-we don't. Our reservation casinos will not allow it. Even if you offset it, they won't allow it. So that's why I never show those kind of strategies, because to me, there's enough casinos that won't take the bet that I don't want to show a strategy or promote one that does that as part of the bet, because you just can't do it, right? And frankly, because the reason why, there's no edge to that. If you do a do-we don't, except for the 12, like you saw, there's no win for the casino built into that thing, right? It's a zero sum. And then if all you're doing is playing odds, the odds are also no edge. So the casino's like, we're getting nothing out of this. All you're doing, you're sitting there playing, and there's no risk to the casino. No risk, no reward for anybody. So that's the reason why they don't allow it. All right, let's go. Let's talk about let's talk about your life as a gambler. And again, let's recap all the good things, right? Having goals, having a solid strategy, having the bankroll to withstand your loss and sustain you through the down times if you need to, or a bankroll like I have that supports the bigger bets. So the strategy has a better chance to kind of do its thing, right? Having the mindset to connect all that together and the discipline to walk when you're up. I think that's the big thing. The discipline leading to execution is the number one. Ancillary to all that, of course, is our success metric, which is knowing the rules of the games, right? Knowing how to connect all that together, knowledge, theory, logic, math, understanding of variance, right? And the guts to make the right call, make good choices. Today, what I want to talk about, we're moving in here in session 4, Gambling 201. We've been talking about money management. Today, I want to talk quickly about accounting for your expenses. Yesterday, we went into this idea of having multiple bank accounts, right? The 401g account where your master bankroll lives, and then splitting your wins into separate accounts for expense handling and for excess, for trips and craziness, right? Let's dive into the expenses, okay? The expense accounting. Here's the thing. You're going to use, I recommend, a single dedicated account or credit card to pay your expenses. In my case, it's a Capital One Venture card, right? I get a ton of miles on that thing and cash back. I've got the highfalutin ones. I get miles and cash back on that card. If I have money in my hand and I'm thinking about going to the casino, that card comes out. It's my gas, it's the coffee at the gas station, it's the McDonald's French fries on the way home, it's the food at the casino, whatever I'm doing, that comes out of that account. Why? Because A, it's actual expense I've incurred. I would not have incurred the gas, food, whatever, if I wasn't going to the casino. So to me, it's an expense of going. Because it's an expense of going, it comes onto that credit card. I earn miles on it, I get cash back on it. So it's doing a little bit of work for me. It's like a little comp builder. The card itself is. Now, it's a credit card, so it's got an interest rate to it, okay? Putting money in, I pay that thing in full every month. We'll talk about that in a minute. I pay it in full. There's never any interest on that thing, okay? I use a dedicated account. I have a dedicated, you saw it yesterday, expenses account. It's a savings account that is an interest-bearing account. So when I win money and I put money into the savings account, it's earning interest. It's a money market account, so it earns decent money on that thing. That thing is what pays the credit card. So the credit card I use to earn miles and cash back and all my expenses. The savings account, that is my expenses account that I put my winnings into, interest bearing, and that being funded from my wins is what pays the credit card. So there's the cycle. Win a bunch of money, load the expenses savings account pays the credit card. The credit card earns miles and cash back. So there's a little bit of juice in there, right? The reason why I like to use a credit card, and in my case, it's the Venture One card, but you can use whatever card you want. The reason why I like that is because the credit card lets you, it not only has a full accounting of your month, it has every transaction on it, of course, fees and everything else. It categorizes them. So if you go to log into your bank account or your credit card account, now when you look at your invoice or your statement rather, you can edit every single transaction and categorize it. It does a pretty good job. The AI does a good enough job of categorizing for you, like this was gas, this was food, whatever. If you want to give it different categories, you make your own categories, you can categorize it. You'll get at the end of the year a report that shows you from your expense card where all the money went. I spent X on gas, hotels, plane tickets, whatever it was that you spent the money on. You get a full accounting. It's good to have that, right? If you ever have an audit or whatever else, it's good to have the reporting just as backup in case you need it. It's also good for your mental state to look at your year and go, oh my God, this year I spent, $4,000 and change on randomness that you probably don't even think about, right? Having that report and that separate card lets you look at it and go, my God, I spent going to the casino this year, $1,100, and I did last year, $1,100 on gas, right? And about $600 on randomness, like coffee and candy and stuff going to the casino and back, right? Just a quick stop at the, McDonald's. it's a lot of money, almost $2,000 just burned in getting there and having some stuff. You got to account for that, right? You got to know that. Now, other things that in there were plane tickets to go travel and hotels and that kind of thing too. So that it's good to see where it all comes from. That yearly report is a helpful thing. The fact that you can categorize it with your credit card company is good for you. It may make you make different decisions in the next year by reviewing that report. It's just good to see where your money's going and realize the bleed that takes, right? The expenses are a bleed on your wins. You got to remember this. To get to the casino, to get to where you're going, it's a bleed. There's a cost to it. Now, that's why, again, I keep it separate. My win goal is 300. I win 500. $100 goes into the expenses. It's a bleeding off my profits to fund that account. And I think it's an important piece to it. Realize the bleed, use your reports to see the bleed and make different things. Also, by having this notion of my savings account, my expenses savings account, where the money actually goes, having that thing pay for what's going to be on the credit card, I know I make this decision. I don't spend a dime on that credit card without doing a sanity check first. If I look at my credit card and I say, look, it's first of the month, February 1st, it's zero. Nothing on the card because I paid it off, right? I look at my expenses savings account. I got $550 in the savings account and I say, cool. Do we want to go to Vegas or do you want to go to whatever? Do I have the money in the account? If I have the money in the savings account, I will charge the expense. I'll buy the plane ticket and then I'll use my savings account to pay the thing. Okay. If the savings account has less money in it than what the expense is going to be, I don't spend the money. That's when I say to people, I can't afford to come see you. I don't have it. I'm not going to pull money out of my master bankroll to fund a trip. If I've earned enough to pay for it, absolutely. And I think that sanity check is important. Seeing the savings account and the credit card should be at zero, the savings account should be at X. If I have enough money, that decision is a thumbs up. If I don't, not happening. Again, I use that as a visual reminder to make smart decisions. Okay, I think maybe I'm a little bit over the top with being organized and diligent about this stuff, but trust me, if you don't have a sanity check built in and you don't have a system of making sure your expenses are accounted for, you're going to have problems. Okay. Now, what do? The account itself, the savings account that I have for this, it's set up with auto pay. I have it set up in my bank account to auto pay the credit card 100%. It's already set up. There's a checkbox. Say my credit card, Venture One, auto pay connects to this account, which is my expenses account, and I check the box. It's pay in full. So every month when that credit card comes due, it pays. I pay no interest on it. I'm not trying to build credit, not trying to play that game. I use the card to earn the points and the cash back. That's it. The expense account, if I didn't want to earn the points, I would just use my expense account as like a debit card, right? I use the credit card as a means to earn some stuff. A little bit of side hustle play right there. But yeah, the expense account, savings account pays that thing in full every month. No interest is accrued. That's a critical thing for me too. That's why I say with the sanity check, looking at the other screen, do I have the money in the expense account that if I charge it, I can pay the charge off? That's my go or no go decision. That to me is an important piece of handling your expenses too. Okay. So all that said, I want to kind of recap what I said on the earlier slide. I think it bears repeating. Okay. Having an accounting of where your money goes is helpful for two reasons. Number one, it's helpful for you to see where your bleed is. How much money are you burning in random expenses or travel costs to fund your gambling habit? That's good for you to know. Okay. The second thing is this: if there ever is an audit, for whatever reason, there's an audit. Here comes the man. You got a log. You got an official log, a report from a company, a credit card company that will explain where your money went. If you're going to gamble, and I'm not doing this, if you're going to gamble for a living and you show no income to the IRS, my income was zero because every day I won $500 in cash, and you're depositing into your checking account and you're never having any income come in from a job, that's going to raise some flags, right? So you have a full accounting of things. It's only going to ever help you. If somebody says to you, and by somebody, I mean the government, where'd all that money come from? And you go, I don't know, right? That's never a good answer. So be diligent. Again, log everything, categorize everything, pay it in full. If you can have, I'll go back here again. If you can have a credit card that earns miles and cash back, if you can have a savings account that's money market interest bearing, you're making money on both sides of that thing. You can reduce the bleed by just a tad. Play it smart. Play your expenses game smart. And that's my thoughts here on managing expenses. Again, it's a small piece to the big puzzle, but again, if you're going to play the any craps on the come out in craps, you're going to bleed away that $3 or $5 every single come out roll. You're not going to notice it in your rack, but if you logged, let me go back to here. If you logged every single time that you didn't win the $5 bet over the course of your life, you're going to go, oh my God, I burned $10,000 wasting $5 on this come out roll. If you look at your expenses and you're going to say, oh my God, John, you've wasted $600 this year on coffee and donuts on the way to the casino. Eye opener, stop doing that. Brew coffee on the way out of the house and bring a mug with you. Save $600, right? I know I take coffee and a cookie with me from my house, right? You open your eyes to the dumb things that you do when you don't realize you're doing dumb things. I think that's why I think putting it right in front of your face is so important. All right, so let me go ahead and check. Let me go check some PC comments here. Do we have anything y'all want to talk with me about? Let me go. Whoops, I filtered the wrong place. PC filter. Let's see what we have for questions. Let's see. James says I'm right. I have no idea what I'm right about. I'm assuming, James, that you're talking about the come don't come thing or the don't come thing. No more than one or two. I think you get 3, 4, 5 of those things up there, you're going to get destroyed for sure. Dan says on the quick paycheck days, joining in, and I will absolutely. What I'm going to do, I think, on the quick paycheck days is this. If you remember, I haven't played a real paycheck in a while, but I've got that little celebration screen. We can celebrate, log the money in 10 minutes, and then spend the next half an hour just messing around. Just have some fun. We can turn Crapsy on and play. We can do whatever. I will make use of the time. I will not just close the show in 5 minutes. I will make use of the time. So there it is. MSP, I'm making something fun and turning it into work. You're absolutely right, right? But here's the thing. The reason why I do this is because A, I'm a little bit type A. I'm a little bit hyper organized, but the reason for doing all this, let me go back to, I'm on the wrong screen here. The reason for doing it to me is I don't want to bleed money. And I like to look back and say, what happened? And we'll talk about logging our sessions here in a little while. When I look at like my session logs and I go to the casino, buy in 500, cash out 460, buy in 500, cash out 910. I log everything. And I can look back and say, okay, this day I played the strategy. This is what happened. This day I went here, I played that strategy. And I can look back and say, where did I play? And I summarize the day in some way. I like to look back I'm a data analyst, right? I like to look back at data and say, what happened, right? At this casino versus that casino and what strategies I work. I like to do that kind of stuff. So to me, I get enjoyment out of that. It makes it fun. Yes, I've turned a fun thing into work, but I'm also not going to go to the ATM machine, rip out $500, go up there and say a Hail Mary and hope I win. Like, to me, that's not fun either. To me, it's like flying without a net or what do they call that? Right? Jump without a net. I don't want to do that. I like having my safety net. I like to know where things are coming from. So to me, it's work. But a lot of people watch our shows and they say, hey, I want to play. I'm tired of losing. Where'd my money go? I want to play more on a pro level. What does it mean to play on a pro level? It means doing this kind of stuff. It means having bank accounts. It means putting things where they're going to be. It means paying attention to where your money goes and not, again, like I said last month, not feeding the beast. I don't want to feed the casino beast. I don't want to give them extra money because I'm playing incorrectly or I'm succumbing to what's going on. I don't want to give the world extra money by spending it on dumb crap on the way to the casino. Managing that to me is important because it means that if I'm not spending $600 a year on coffee and donuts, which I didn't realize I was doing, that's a whole trip. That's a flight and 3 nights in a hotel. I look at that as like, shit, that cost me a trip to Biloxi by burning it on stupid crap, coffee and candy. Like when I look at that and I went, damn, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, it's habit. Go get gas, jump in the Quickie Mart and grab your stuff. That was a dumb decision. And I think looking at my logs highlighted that for me. So, and I do travel a lot, right? I'm always trying to find ways to get to meetups and stuff. So I need that excess. I need that expenses account to always be loaded. You know what I mean? All right. Arcades tells me I need to learn how to launder money. Yeah, for sure, right? Texas Dicer, if my 401g is below base and I have money in my excess, do I move some to 401g to make the deficit? No, I don't. If I had the excess money, it's there for that. It was earned for that reason. The excess money, by the way, is things I'll do the side bet. Like that's, if I wanted to, here's a good example for excess. I don't play the ATS. You know that as a rule, but I might buy in at a table for $1,000 out of my 401g account and 150 from my excess. And I'll do a 5-5-5 10 times. That's an excess money play. If that thing happens to whack $500 and wins, cool. The excess did its job. That's kind of what that's for me. I don't do that. I make the 401g replenish itself as it can. If I do side work, coding, whatever else, and I earn extra money, I'll put that back and I'll replenish the 401g from side hustle money. But no, the excess money is already carved out. It's got its job. It's so that I can come on this cruise in April and bring $3,000 on the cruise from that excess account. That's what that's for. It's for the cruise to go out there and play silly and buy the drink package. Like that's what that's for. All right. Let's see. Waylon says it costs money to do anything you love, whether you're good at it or not. Kind of like totally, right? You're always going to bleed money, but there's no need to bleed dumb money. And I think that's what the expenses account highlights to me is some of that stuff. Having the credit card is great because the miles that it earns, I can actually spend less money on the airplanes now. I can upgrade, I can do things. So all that whole system I've got is working. And it's, like I said, it's all separate from life. My bank account for my wife and I, different bank than my gambling shit. It's a wholly different thing, right? I never want to be the person that has the problem of dipping in. I never want to I know that I'm not a compulsive person. I don't have that addictive personality, but I want to guard against it anyway. So I keep it all separate. And I try it, like I said, everything to me is working. And I told this story yesterday. My wife and I, we had money problems for two reasons. When we were younger, first married, we didn't know. We put all our money in one giant account, right? We weren't making a lot of money, but we all went into one account and we just paid our bills off the account. Well, sometimes you got a check pending or a bill being paid and you're going to the grocery store and you're buying groceries and all of a sudden you're out of money. Like what happened to my money, right? Not knowing what bills hadn't cleared yet and all that kind of stuff. You end up making bad decisions or poor decisions or decisions that hurt you. When we decided to do the whole account separation thing and have a grocery account, an eating out account, a bills account, personal spending accounts, it changed everything, right? Haven't bounced a check in 25 years. Haven't had a question about, do we have enough money for X in 25 years? Because we know exactly what's in grocery account. And if she says, what do you want for dinner tonight? And I say, I want New York strip. And she goes, well, the grocery account's down. You're having chicken. I'm like, cool. That's how it goes in my house. Everything we do is cash. We have no credit. My wife and I have 0 credit cards. Everything we do is cash only from those accounts. That's how I live. And the only credit card I really have is this card that I use for travel. That's it. Other than that, everything else is out of the bank, man. I just not feeding that beast anymore. Not feeding that beast. I learned my lesson when I was younger. Luckily, I was young enough to learn the lesson and have a great life ever since. Right, there it is. MSP, there. The best decision was to separate the budget from personal. 100%. Budget, we actually have, like I said, budget to personal accounts and everything else. That separation makes everything perfect. It's like I said, I smile every day now because we don't have to stress about it. It's such a relief. Gambling has been the same thing. I used to gamble from one giant account and have like 401g, and I had the one account with all the money in it. I was gassing up the car and flying on and doing hotels, and all of a sudden that account's got nothing in it. Like, what the hell happened to my money? Well, I wasn't managing it right. That's why I do it like this now. That's the reason why I do it. And I hope that resonates with everybody. And again, like I said yesterday, and here are my final thoughts. I got to get out of here. tell your friends and family. If you have people who are managing their money incorrectly, right, or don't know the message, send them the message here, right? This separation of money works for gambling, it works for your life, and for your kids and grandkids that are just getting started out, or a friend of yours that may be going down a dark path, share the message. They can watch the video, or you can repeat what I said, but share that message. I think that's a really important piece to all this. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. I think it's about time to go study for this interview that I've got. Let's see. I'm going to go through other chats here right in the end. Victor says, we need new crafts authors. You know, I'm writing a book, obviously. Let's see. Yep. The book is going to be good. The book is going to be basically these videos I'm doing these last couple of months in written form. I'm just going to write the book from what I talk about. And we're going to reorder the things I say, but I'm trying to practice with you all the words I want to say in the book. That's what this whole Gambling 101, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, that's what the series is for. It's for me to get my thoughts together with you and then write the book. So you've already read the book. You're reading the book as I write it. All right, get out of here, guys. Have a good day. God bless all of you, and I will see you tomorrow. Friday Follies, Daily Paycheck. We're going to go nuts out there in the garage. We're going to maybe have a guest in here in the studio. And with all that said, I'm out. See you tomorrow. Oh, I'll see you tonight, actually, for Ken. Ken knows gambling with me tonight on Trip Around the Table. See you then. Out. Bye.